I am a free bird in my own nest. Free bird. I actually have a chat on WhatsApp with my friends. Are you free birds too? Forget about the empty nesters. That's so depressing. Be a free bird. I am a free bird, and that means that I have greater freedom to manage my own time and how I spend my energy, and at the time that I wake up, and the time that I work out, and the relationships that I build, because now, after 33 and a half years of being in corporate America, I am an entrepreneur. You know, it's been an interesting journey. I relocated more times than I can count. And the opportunity to work in marquee companies that gave me the privilege and the advantage of learning within those companies is something that I will for always cherish. I work in 7 different industries, like people around the world. But now, I'm practicing what I shared with you at the beginning of our session in the Interlude 1. I am taking a fresh look at those pieces of my own puzzle and figure out, what does this mean to me? How do I take the learnings from 33 and a half years and I do what Ron was saying, Roncito, and I start reinventing myself if I need to? And I didn't know I would do that. I didn't think about it like 10 years ago, 5 years ago. 3 years ago, I attempted it. But I got cold feet. And I went back to corporate. I was not completely ready. Now I am. So you see, some interludes are long. I mentioned to you yesterday, some take years. That was my longer interlude. Now, I am completely convinced this is what I want to be, but I have to relook at where I am. I know my intersections. I know that now I don't have children at home. I don't need to subscribe to their school schedule. Or I can go vacationing on a cruise whenever I want to, not necessarily when they're off. That is freedom. I am embracing that. Does it freak me out that I don't necessarily have like a paycheck that will come no matter what I do? Yes, it does. But I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm going to trust myself that I have accumulated enough experiences that will carry me when I take a look at what I've learned and what I want to create. But that's not only me. That's you too. Because I met you. I heard about what you're trying to do. So how do you go about it? How do you work with your intersectionality and your identity and all those things that we talked about? Well, what I'm thinking at this point in this interlude where I am, and it's a transition that you might want to use as yourself, as you reinvent yourself many times, it is to take what you have learned, where you feel strong, take a fresh look. During the Latina awakening that I mentioned earlier today, I made some conscious choices and decisions about how I wanted to show up in the world. That was exactly what I wanted to do. It was conscious. And this is the time when this light comes up for those who are listening in the back. Okay, you see? Perfect cue. When I made those choices, I decided that I was going to anchor my identity on my accent. No accent reduction for me. I also decided that I was going to live in full color because it is who I am. It gives me energy. I also determined that I would not necessarily sit on my hands as I did many times until I decided that that was not me. I could tame the beast, but the beast is the way I communicate. It gives me energy, and it makes me feel that I'm reaching out to you. That's why I do it. It's a way of connecting, and I love the connection. I feel strong on that. I'm not giving that away. I didn't do it at corporate. I'm not going to do it as an entrepreneur. But it's a fresh new start. I'm looking at reinventing myself and thinking about what that means. So with that, I also started this process of assessing, evaluating, gathering input. And Ron mentioned during lunch that he went to his board of directors. And so can you have one too? Absolutely. Members of your family, members of people, the leaders that you trust. That's your board of directors, personal board of directors, not the company. So I started going to them. And I said, you know what? As I'm moving, okay, in this interlude from corporate to my own entrepreneurship as a consultant in diversity and inclusion, I want to hear your perspective. I want to understand how I come across to you. I have worked with you in different capacities in 7 different industries. By the way, nobody's in the same company anymore. So they have, you know, like we have connected in more than one company. And the first feedback that I got about, hey, how should I think about how you perceive me, how I can bring value to you based on our experience as I'm moving into this new direction. And the first thing that people had some reactions was about the thing that I never thought about myself about being funny. Never, ever. Actually, I'm the serious person in my family. And said, like, okay. And somebody said, oh, it's so funny, the name you chose for your organization. Is it? DNIMD. Are you the doctor of DNI? And they're like, well, actually, those are my initials of my name, Monica Diaz. But if it's kind of like the medical doctor for you on DNI, that works perfectly fine, if you want to think about it that way. But they thought it was funny. It's like, I can live with funny. We don't have to be that serious all the time and take ourselves so seriously. I never thought about myself as a funny person. But it was funny for them. Okay, funny, I'm entertaining. Never thought about myself that way. That is, they say like, it's so easy to speak with you. Easy to speak with me. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what they also said is, what is the value that you bring to me as a colleague, as a client? It was funny, because I got a lot of stuff that I didn't think I was going to get. I was looking for something more pragmatic. I was not sure what I was going to get. But for me, what it was important is that I had not lost myself by being me in the process of engaging in business. And the aha moment that I got was that I was focused on my identity not being a deterrent on my progress of my career. And that was important to me. But what I figured out, it didn't have an impact on anybody else. They didn't bring it up. You know that Latina that came 4 hours after on the flight that got the brochure that I was the Hispanic person? Nobody mentioned that. Nobody. Huh. That was important to me. So I said, like, okay, everybody made peace with my colorfulness, with my hands. Nobody mentioned that. They were all talking about the impact that I had. Cool. Fantastic. Because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to be yourself, and you want to have the impact that is positive. And you can say, what is my legacy? What is my impact in this world? And you want to be good with that. You want to be proud of that without losing yourself. And you can do it. Don't worry if you wear hoops or big earrings for your photo shoot, right? Somebody had the earrings. That's you. The impact that you're going to have, it goes on your work. Don't lose yourself. Be yourself and focus on the impact that you're going to have. And they summarize it so beautifully. The leaders were talking about a few things that they said, this is where you bring value to me. And I was so humble and so satisfied when they said, actually, this is the way somebody put it. I appreciate that you help me think, that you influence the way I feel, and that you help me do what I need to do. Whoa. And said, that's the value that you bring. That's the influence that you bring. You help me think. You influence how I feel about things. And you help me do what I want to do. Could you say more? Because, you know, yo a veces estoy un poquito lenta, so it's like I'm not getting it. Okay, en arroz de habichuela, in rice and beans, tell me what that means. And what I heard in different words was basically that I was able to be focused on my message, but flexible on my approach. Okay. That I was able to support what leaders wanted to do. Remember, this is D&I. Not everybody's going to get it perfect. Some leaders might say, si digo esto, if I say this, I'm going to make a mistake, and I'm going to get in trouble, and I'm going to get sued, right? A lot of judgment. So they say, yeah, you support what I'm trying to do when I'm trying to learn without judging me. You allow me to practice what I'm learning as I go along. And the third thing was, you offer practical advice, and you make me more productive. So it is about getting things done. That's the impact. We can talk good things. We can influence people. We can even motivate people as much as we want. But people want to get things done. So are you helping your leaders getting things done? Are you getting things done as you go along? And do you know what getting that done is? It's a matter of choice. So as you think about these different facets of your life, of your career, if you're transitioning at some point, as many of you are, from corporate to entrepreneurship, or if you're doing corporate and entrepreneurship at the same time, take a closer look at who you are. Those intentional decisions that we have been talking about that make you feel that you are not losing yourself in the process. Make sure that you know what anchors you. From your name to your identity to who you are on every intersection of your life, so you still recognize yourself at the end of the day. And then take a fresh look at the pieces of your learnings, of what you have done along the way. And reinvent yourself if you need to. Or add more layers to the you if you're doing it at the same time. Use the perspectives of others. Get the feedback. And you may discover, in a humble and wonderful way, the level of impact that you're having around you. And it will give you the confidence that you're in the right direction. And if you want to course correct, still have the time. No threat. It's input that you have gotten for you, and people are giving it to you for free. Use it to evolve, to get better, to adjust if you have to, as long as it's still you. So with that, I wish you the best of luck in your career. I hope that you have the opportunity to continue engaging in this kind of forum, where you will continue creating this community. If this was the first time that you were at this event, let it not be the last. And if your company is not paying for it, pay for it yourself. I did that, and I don't regret it. I want to thank you for the opportunity to share my message with you. I appreciate tremendously some of you who have gotten back to me and said that whatever I shared here in these 2 days had an impact in your life. That brings tremendous, tremendous meaning to my life. So I want to thank you for that, and I'm going to let it sit there as we continue ending the session for today. Thank you.